Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
Sports are the most important thing in the world, especially if your shirt cannot be cleaned. But in the meantime, if it can, turn to the Fan Garage, also known as FG. Say it together quickly with me. Fug. Fan Garage. All that you want to know about sports, especially cricket and football. Is there another sport? Check out new episodes on our IVM podcast apps. Happy listening, mother and fathers. Alright, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
If you want to know how your nose hair can affect your height, weight and sexual issues when you're 36 years old, then you need to meet this guy. His name is Milind Doshi and his story is very interesting because he can see our future. It's called Cyrus Says.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Okay, I've decided. It's about time we accept that May is a month where no Indian should be allowed to live in India. When the British left, 1947, this is a fact, they left May 1st. Not because of Maharashtra, which was coming soon, but because they could not take the heat. So here's my request to tailors all across India and fashion gurus and fashionistas. Can we remove the armpits from our shirts? Can you design clothes where it's armpitless for men? I know women have this option, but not being a ganji, I want to have full bush shirts and shirts that I can wear without armpits so that we can breathe freely. Because the British left, they don't have this problem, but we do. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus says.
All right, Cyrus says it's time to meet a gentleman who's, from the same area as me, somewhere in South Mumbai, the same sort of school setup. Everything is the same. We may have a lot of friends. We just realized we may have relatives in common and things like that. But there's a difference. And that is he's about 25 years younger than me. And that's very painful. Call me uncle throughout the interview. Show some respect.
For sure, Cyrus, uncle.
Thank you so much. Because there's no point talking to people like that. We have so much. I so love the commonality. I can see we have the same experience growing up in the same 4 square kilometers and all that. We'll find lots of people in common. But we are so much younger. So unfair. Milind Doshi, founder of Snow Daddy Ski School and Nutritional Genomix. We're going to first talk about Snow Daddy, then come to Genomix because that's a whole new thing. Very interesting young man. You went to St. Mary's ICSE, one of the big schools in Bombay.
Oh, yeah.
Literally big schools because you have a, space to play.
Yeah.
And one of my closest friends, who's like an uncle, some say father to my kids, but I can't verify that right now. Kunal Vijayakar is from St. Mary's.
Okay.
But he's 86 years old, so you've never interacted with him.
Probably not.
Okay, fair enough. But we do have someone in common, Kayozi Irani.
Yeah.
The actor Baman Irani's son.
He was my classmate.
He was your classmate?
Partner in class.
Okay, stop that. I know the family, they won't be happy with this. They're very liberal, but there's a line.
I have a girlfriend, bro.
No, it's too late, bro. Uncle say bro, what the hell is going on here? Can I abuse? I can't. Oh, damn, sorry. So much for that false respect. Okay, let's get right to you, Milind Doshi. Interesting generation that's growing up, doing so many different things. We grew up engineer, lawyers, business people. I don't think it was much more. The odd scientist, but that was like a joke. You had poor grades in high school. I'm going to go back to your beginning.
Sure.
Is that true or you're just creating a myth?
No, seriously.
You weren't a good student.
I wasn't a good student. We were part of the school that actually didn't get a farewell because we were just naughty kids and playing around.
So your batch weren't given a farewell?
Wasn't given a farewell.
They were so disappointed.
A whole batch.
Which year? Which batch? 2002 you
2002 probably. 2003, oops. I don't remember. But yeah.
So the whole batch was far too badly behaved.
Far too badly. The first batch in history.
That's amazing. And now you're a tough school, a rough and tough school as far as South Mumbai goes.
And I was guilty by association, not because I did anything wrong, because my friends were doing something wrong.
So they were all the swindlers.
Yeah, they were messing around.
He's winking at uncle and telling him this because in case his family's listening, or the odd teacher who's now so proud of you. So when you say bad grades, and this is because we're trying to inspire people with stories, what would it be like?
I mean, my chemistry, math, everything was really poor. I barely passed. And then by outside ICSE, end up getting like a 66%, which was horrible at the time.
Excuse me? Back in 1989, there was a young boy called Cyrus Brocha who got exactly 66% in ICSE. What is wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm good now. You're good now.
But you said it's a bad at studies, but 66% I thought was okay.
We had motivation to change, yeah.
Okay.
Most people don't get that.
But in my batch, 66 wasn't so bad, boss. Not everybody was cracking the 80s and 90s.
That's true. In my batch, most of them were pretty...
Yeah,
good.
66
no,
on
good.
the lower side?
On average, people are getting 85.
What are you saying?
People are damn smart.
What's wrong with St. Mary's? What happened to it? It was a rough, tough school, spotty school.
Yeah,
and then 85% came from where?
God
Is
knows.
it Queen Mary's or St. Mary's? Who are you talking about?
St. Mary's.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I won't make any more jokes. Poor grades in school, then you decided to turn your life around. You went to the IB school, Ecole Mondiale, which is a whole different experience.
Completely.
Tell us about it. And this is the first generation of Ecole Mondiale
First, we were
schools.
the first, like the school just opened, and because of that, with my poor grades, I luckily managed to get in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone to the school if it was much later.
What are you saying?
Because of the first school, we got lucky. And
you went for the rough and tough, all boys experience of naughty guys, and you're saying even amongst that naughtiest batch.
Yeah.
And then you go to Ecole Mondiale. What were the people like, the kids?
People are so different. I mean, we had all celebrities, kids in our school. I had Sridevi coming every morning to drop a kid, and it was like very different experience. Like the whole Bandra Jew Bollywood side,
Yeah.
So I didn't get to experience that earlier, but it was much
How
more.
did they treat you since you weren't a Bollywood kid?
Pretty normal. I mean, like.
They didn't say your daddy's in which film and all?
No.
What are the complexes that you have? South Bombay boy in Juhu with these celebrity kids.
Exactly. Like, South Bombay guy coming to Juhu. Oh, we are blessed. Your presence is awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Sarcasm or serious?
Sarcasm. Everyone's very sarcastic for sober people coming to Juhu.
Why do we have this divide? It's just amazing.
I don't
it
know.
Still continues in your generation. I thought it ended in mine, but obviously it still continues.
No, I think Bandra is becoming the center, but back then it was
Bandra is South Bombay now, by the way.
Yeah,
Bandra
exactly.
is South Bombay.
No, we are in the burbs,
Yeah, fair enough. So then Ecole Mondiale, and what were you going to do? What was your life plan?
My life plan was to do IB. I was playing tennis at the time, so I was deciding whether either I join the footsteps of my father and grandfather and do a family business, or I get into tennis and pursue that career, because I was pretty good at
tennis.
I was pretty good at the time, even though my grades were low because I was playing tennis all the time.
Okay, so you played like competitive level tennis.
Yeah, state level 4, rank 4, and then I had 4 ATP points at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went to the Bolletary school and all that?
Yes, I
What
spent 6 months there in Nick Bolletary.
Oh, so then you were actually very serious about the game.
Yeah.
And what was your ranking again?
In Maharashtra, it was seat 4 in Maharashtra.
Wow. So you're pretty good.
Yeah, it was decent. Not good, though. Much better guys.
So did you get to play any of these big names of today, the Rohan Bapanas and all these?
Of today's no, but I played Vijay Amritraj and I played...
Vijay Amritraj is my grandfather's age. But what the hell are you doing with him? He was in hospital when you played him.
There was a Legends Cup, Henry Leconte...
Vijay. Henry Leconte, of course. I remember him. French Open finalist.
Yeah, so then CCI, there was a
You got to play these guys?
Yeah, Tata Legends Cup. And they randomly, I was watching Vertical Limit with my friends and I get a call like, come to CCI right now.
Vertical Limit, Sylvester Stallone film?
That movie in Mount Everest and all, that thing happened.
When nothing happens, you just climb the mountain and...
His sister gets trapped under the avalanche. And
is the one who cuts off the hand?
No,
that's the other one.
That's the 120.
I've seen 2, 3. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with films. And mountains and films scare me.
Yeah.
Okay, back to... So the Legends was on. You got a chance to play with Amritraj in Leconte.
Yeah, they called me while I was in the middle of the movie. Like, come to CCI now. There's a tournament and we need like some young players. And it's going to be...
You should think so.
Yeah, and
someone has to hold up Vijay Amritraj and Henry Leconte. Yeah.
So we need like the best players in the club to play against them on live TV. I'm like, oh God, that was the first... scary moment in my life. I'm like, oh God, what am I going to do? And I straight went to the club, changed, and they're like, in the middle of the club, they had like all these stands set up, and there were like at least 500 people.
What do you say?
2,000 people. ESPN was like broadcasting that. I got my first match like that.
Doubles?
It was doubles.
So who you play with?
I played with Vijay Amritraj, and Henry Leconte was with some other girl from the club also.
So how does it work? Vijay will tell you, go forward, go back.
No, it was a proper set. It was a proper set. And then, it was good because Henry Leconte said I served better than Vijay Amritraj at the time. So it was my parents.
And Vijay was, just for the record, 63. just for the record. Yeah.
Just for the record,
yeah. So, good experience,
Yeah, great experience.
So, almost right there at the top of the tennis breeding ground. And then what happened?
And then I had to make a call. Either I go and play the next 4, 5, 6 years of my life collecting 80 points around ATP points around the world. And then
it's
Grand
expensive
Slam.
until you become big. Yeah.
You have to give up your relationship, your personal life. You cannot drink alcohol.
Yeah.
You can't even study. You can't even go and do education. You have to just give up education. Then I thought, and I said, it's probably wiser to...
I like the way you threw in give up alcohol in the middle. These are important things, Joe. He's 18, he put it all together. Relationship came first, alcohol came second, which is wonderful. And then the rest came after that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't drink now, but back then I was drinking.
Yeah.
And then my dad said, listen, you're not going to succeed a lot if you go down the tennis path because it's really difficult and you sacrifice a lot. And at the end of it, if you don't get in the top 50 or 20 of the world,
suddenly
there's no
you're
point.
30 and you've done nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I chose, I'll go do business. I'll do
you already beat
entrepreneurship.
Henry Leconte and played with Vijay Amritraj. So you achieved what you had to.
Yeah, kind of.
For your dad generation.
For that generation. So then I decided to go to Babson and do business and become an entrepreneur and all of that.
Okay, so Babson College, you've come from Ecole Mondiale. Now no more celebrities for you. You're back into Babson. What is this? Ranked 1 for 17 years in a row?
Yeah, and now it's 18, I think. And Babson is one of the few colleges, somehow they managed to be number 1 in entrepreneurship.
Which is exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly what I wanted to do.
Does that really work out? Because I would think entrepreneurship is all about your own creativity. I mean, can you really be taught it?
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing about Babson. The way they teach you is by actually giving you money. So in the first freshman year class...
This is fake money situation or real money?
$3,000. You got to pitch your idea.
You give an Indian $3,000, he leaves. Are you crazy? Huh.
No. But so they have this very famous program, and I think this is one of the reasons why they remained number 1, was they gave students $3,000 to start a business in the first year, and by the end of the year, they're supposed to wrap up the business and give the proceeds to charity. And throughout the process, the professors are your board of directors, and they tell you, and they kind of like you have to.
So you can go to them for advice and streamlining.
You have to report every week, and then they teach you concepts in business along the way.
Very interesting. So what did Milind Doshi do with this?
So I ended up becoming part of my class split in 2. And one team was doing sleepwear, which was my team. Babson Sleepwear. We were selling like sleepwear to all kids because nobody had branded sleepwear.
I get it. The Indian kids don't want to get up early. So they worked out a thing where we do everything which is nightwear and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I got elected.
But you design it and all?
Yeah. So
it's for real, right? Let's just understand
this. It's for real. And from scratch, we had to find a supplier. We had to...
but 3,000 won't take you a long way.
No, but it gave us enough money to order the first batch of stuff. And then we had to sell that, make a profit from that, and then order again and then sell that.
Okay, so you make the 3,000. If you make a $1,000 profit, you're still on a roll.
Yeah.
And with a small overhead, you keep going up.
Yeah, so the biggest, most successful business in Babson in that year, from $3,000 made $60,000.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
And I had to give it all away to charity?
Yeah, you have to choose your charity at the end of it.
That must have hurt.
Yeah, it must have hurt.
Unless charity is called myself.com.
They're making bamboo bathrobes. Pretty cool.
That was the best?
Yeah, that was the
bamboo
best.
Bathrobes?
Bamboo bathrobes.
But wouldn't that be see-through?
No, it was not made of... It was like normal bathrobe, but the
bamboo material.
Bamboo material.
Oh, excellent. How did that do so well? Just because it's unique?
No, I think nobody had bathrobes, and in university people love you could just wear a bathrobe and walk around.
Okay, so here's the thing. The concept was the market is only the area. Only the.
No, you can do it any, but they ended up selling in all colleges. So and Boston is like the.
So would they go back and do that for real then?
No, they didn't because. I think life happened and most people just left that idea.
But that means they made 60 grand in a year as undergrads or whatever.
We made 12.
Don't worry, we're catching up. Achhe din, bhai. But no, I'm just trying to understand. So 60 grand in a year. Lots of businesses don't do that well in 2000 odd.
Actually, 60 grand in 4 months because the first 4 months was planning.
Wow. That's fantastic, bro.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Excellent. So you made 12 grand, not bad.
Yeah.
Huh? And then, now this is where you want to be? You've got that idea in your head?
No, so yeah, Babson was the place I wanted to be, and then there were some other interesting classes that I was looking forward to. Everyone heard about this one professor who's like sold a startup to Pepsi for $300 million, and he was bawling.
Wow.
Yeah. There's this drink called Life Water. Have you heard of it?
No.
It was owned by Sobe, South Beach.
Right.
So it was like a startup that used to make cold drinks, but it was like vitamin water style.
But that's already there in the market. What is the big deal?
This was 1999, right? And
there was no vitamin water?
There was no vitamin water. This was like one of the first companies at the time.
It's all about just getting the first product out there.
So he hired a Babson kid to do designing for that product, and then Sobe ended up becoming Life Water, which in a period of few years got acquired by Pepsi.
What are you saying? What a story. So the Babson kids are like stars, is it? Or potential stars. They come and identify you. Almost like an MBA program where they come and identify a guy.
I felt like worthless there. My roommate made $1 million.
Racism, yaar.
My roommate was Indian, but he made $1 million in college.
Casteism! Check kar lo. There'll be some communal angle to it. Yeah. He made $1 million.
In selling stuff on eBay and Amazon.
What was he selling the country?
He was selling stuff that were before, telebrands, all these infomercials.
Okay.
So he knew people in the industry when they were launching these advertisements, infomercials. And before the product was available in market, he used to quickly get them and put them on Amazon, eBay. So the demand was created by television ads. And
what was Milind Doshi doing?
I was watching him and learning, man.
Observing for your
saying,
time.
I got to do something. I was feeling like, God, what am I doing with my life?
Mera number aayega. Mera number aayega. Okay, so you're in Babson, you've got this wonderful degree, then you go back, you drop it all to go backpacking to Singapore.
That was actually before Babson. Okay. I went to get into Babson, I needed a gap year because I need to build up my resume and do interesting things and get a good SAT score.
Backpacking in Singapore would make sense, yeah.
Actually, I didn't think of that. My dad said, Milind, when I was 16, I was traveling to Taiwan, Hong Kong, making business deals because my grandfather told him that, hey, go and buy these clothes from here, buy this machine from there. And he had so much experience by 16. He's like, what have you done?
But did Did he get kidnapped?
He didn't.
Now, what happened to you?
Actually, he said, Milind, take this one-way ticket to Singapore. Do whatever you want there.
No friends, nothing. No plans. Okay.
This is the first time I was traveling alone out of the country. And he said, stay in the cheapest place you find. That's the only rule. And
That's pretty cool, actually, when you think back. Huh?
Yeah, and then he said, here's the Lonely Planet. So I went and bought the Lonely Planet book. I took 2 suitcases with me. I didn't know what backpacking was. I landed up in the middle of the night in Singapore, opened the
Lonely Planet?
Lonely Planet.
Found a hotel?
No, exactly. If I take a bus ride to go to this Hawaiian hostel, which is like somewhere close to the center of Orchard Street or somewhere. And I was trying to find the place. I took my suitcases into the local bus, got out at like 2 a.m., walking on the street, finding Hawaiian hostel. Where is this place? And then across the corner, there was this like this restaurant where all these people were eating Chinese food, like with tube lights around and like, noodles and stuff. And right next to it, there was this like doorway, and had staircase going up like 10 stories vertically without turning. Just imagine how like straight
it's
up.
It's like a Hindi film now, huh?
Yeah. And I was looking at that like, is that Hawaiian hostel? And I had this little like hoarding which was hanging, half broken and all. And I'm like...
You're one of the central Mumbai hotels now.
Yeah. So I started walking, and these guys are looking at me. Who's this kid coming who's like so young with 2 suitcases? They stop eating and looking at me walking by them and like trying to take my bag up this staircase, So I'm like walking like about 40-50 flights of steps in my suitcase. There's nobody at the counter. The room didn't have a door. It had a little parda, as the door. There were like 3 bunk beds there. And I gave my passport there. I gave like, I think it was like $4 or less, like 5, 6, 7 Singapore dollars per night. And I went in and I said, okay, now I need to eat something. So I'll go down and see if I can eat some food. So I walked downstairs and this guy's like, hey, come here. I'm like, okay, what happened? He's like, I saw you go upstairs. Are you alone? Are you lost? I'm like, no, I'm fine. He's like, sit with me. So he caught me by my shoulder, made me sit with him.
Like a pedophile or something?
I don't know. I was so scared. I was like, I started lying. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I came here. My parents are coming a few hours later on the next flight. One lie. Then he asked me something else. So, okay, then I just kept going one lie into another lie to make up as if I'm completely fine. My parents will be there in no time and I'll be out of here. And then he kind of figured that out. And he's like, Milind, why don't you come with me until your parents come? Don't stay here. It's unsafe. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. So then he caught me and then I got really like freaked out by this. So I went upstairs. Okay, I'm coming. I went up saying, let me get my bags. He's like, okay, go get your bags. And he was just waiting. He and his friend were just standing there trying to take me somewhere.
Were they Indian guys?
No, some Singaporean guys, old guys with broken teeth and all.
This sounds like a very sad story. Broken teeth on top of that, of all the boys who avoided them, huh? Then?
So then I go upstairs and I'm like freaking out, trying to call my dad, trying to get network out of the window. I peek my head out. He's seeing me from there if I'm coming down. I call my dad like, Dad, this guy's trying to like take me somewhere, My dad's like, just wait there and don't leave the place, and ask somebody if they can like protect you from the guy. And he called the hotel, like he called Shangri-La, ordered a cab, they sent someone.
South Bombay boy. 20 minutes into the experience of making it on your own. Daddy calls up, 5-star hotel, it's all... What a story.
So then the guy left after 2 hours and then I got into the cab and the rest of the trip I stayed at a good hotel.
But we're going to have to take a quick break here, but I just want to ask you, but this could have been really dangerous.
It could have been damn dangerous.
2 in the morning with your 2 bags, I mean, they would have...
God knows what would have happened.
The best thing could have been kidnapping. The best thing that could have happened to you. Oof, what a story. We'll come back. Lost Moment, Milind Doshi. We haven't discussed what he does and it's very interesting. There are 2 things. One is a Snow Daddy ski school, which is far away in Kashmir, I think.
Yeah,
and then there's Nutritional Genomix, which is how to make your jeans better. And I don't mean your pants.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge fan of the indie music scene in our country. A scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground, but there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Krish Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today. You can catch Made in India on your favorite podcasting app or our very own IVM podcast app.
All right, back here with Milind Doshi, and it's time to talk about his life now and his life's dreams which are coming true. So you went to Babson's, you became an entrepreneur, you survived a kidnapping by 2 Singaporean men who seemed to like you for whatever reason and would have adopted you and kept you as their girl for many years, but that didn't happen. You then moved on and started, which happened first, the Snow Daddy Ski School?
Actually, that was a result of 2 failures of starter after starting
So
my
this
first
is, you
company.
come back from Babson's and
Actually,
you
I started a
start.
company when I graduated, that year.
Which was?
It was gloated.com. It was a website where people could
Gloated?
Yeah, like gloat.
Gloat,
Yeah,
okay.
gloated.com, where people could tell the world
Show
what
off.
services they're willing to do for $5.
Hey man, this is the dirtiest introduction to business I've ever heard in my life.
It was only because students weren't really...
All the applicants were subcontinental people. Now, $5, main karega.
The idea was that students that were studying in Harvard, MIT, all the top colleges were getting minimum wage jobs,
Right.
doing working in the library or doing stuff that didn't actually capitalize on their skills.
I think it makes sense actually
Yeah.
because you give you an option. Like
does.
it's a Google of jobs, huh?
Yeah, you could just say, I'm willing to edit your essay.
No,
or
I
I'm
clean the
willing
toilet.
I'll do
$5,
whatever.
yeah.
And all online services. So the idea was that we could really build a network around this.
Didn't work?
Because a competitor from Israel
Oh.
killed us. They became now, I think, in the top 100 websites of the world. It's called Fiverr.com.
What did they offer that you didn't?
Same, they were...
Their network was better.
No, they first of all, they were hardcore IT founders, co-founders. So they knew how to scale the business from a technology perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And they also did not have a .edu, which we had. Which means we couldn't accept anybody who didn't have that. So they had a bigger market.
The Jew beat the good Jew.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good for India. All right, so that didn't work out, but you wet
I
your
got a
lips,
great
you wet your
experience.
feet.
Yeah, wet my feet there.
Yeah.
We launched a Spanish version of the site, and then we got hacked, by those guys. And we're pretty sure it's them. One day we come to a website. We were doing
Very competitive world you live in, brother.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah. Hundreds of dollars, hundreds of people were buying and selling services on a website daily. And then suddenly, out of the blue,
Yeah.
our website goes dark. All the text is
It
wishy-washy.
disappears completely.
Sinister music playing on our website and some some dark flag, Turkish flag.
So they kill the competition.
Yeah, they killed us. They opened and we went to the website. We'd call our developers in India saying, bro, our site, we lost control. Can you fix it? They're like, yeah, you pay us $20,000 again, we'll do it. We're like, we can't afford that again,
Just take them to that hotel in Singapore.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Sort it out there. Have all your meetings there. You get your price, brother. All right, so that didn't work. Second startup?
So second startup was, a lot of companies like us failed, which need to know they need to know Indian companies that they work with. So let's bring a bunch of these startups from America to India to meet all the outsourcing partners.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a good relationship so they don't get screwed when shit hits the fan.
Okay.
That was the idea. Ended up...
So you're almost a security firm now.
No, travel firm, but
Okay.
business travel, I would say, to meet companies rather than...
Why didn't that work?
So the idea was it was long cycles. People really didn't have enough time to take out. For us, from a business perspective, had to organize tours where we set up meetings with all the top IT companies, all the top investors, all the top relevant
So it was
people.
taking too long, the package.
To get money into the company was taking so long, right?
But this was an idea nobody was doing.
Nobody was doing that at the time. We ended up getting good traction.
So
We
business travels and tours
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
Huh.
So Geeks on a Plane, I don't know if you heard of them.
Yeah.
So Dave McClure from 500
Yeah.
Startup, somehow I got connected to him. He's like, Milind, I'm coming. I want you to organize my India trip.
Wow.
So we organized 2 trips for Geeks on a Plane. We traveled with them. We made all the meetings happen. That's where I got all the exposure to the Indian VC startup world.
So it did work.
It worked. I mean, I got great experience from it.
Okay.
But it didn't survive long enough. And then I met I think, Ritesh from Oyo Rooms.
Yeah, of course. Agarwal, huh?
Yeah, so he was a friend of mine. We were having tea and coffee during these events because I called him to...
And he was a nobody.
he was nobody. He was...
He didn't have a room to live in.
He didn't have a room to live in. He's like, I left. I'm thinking of leaving high school. I'm like, what is this kid doing? I had no clue that 4 or 5 years later, he'd be one of the few guys in India who started from nothing and built a 1,000 crore company.
Yeah, the bloody Oyo rooms are everywhere. We have to stop them now. I think Ritesh, if you're listening back, the F off. I mean, really. Okay, so that was the failures, but now let's get to the big one. The Snow Daddy. Where did the idea come from? I know you think out of the box. You've been in Babson's, all's fair there, but ski school?
So it came at a time when I was in a sad place in life, and my previous business venture didn't take off. It was a co-working space which I had, which was ahead of its time. Now it's pretty big. And during that December holiday, my family decided to say, let's go to Gulmarg. And I'm like, who wants to go to Gulmarg in Kashmir? It's unsafe, and what's there to do there? We ended up over there, and we were shocked when we landed. It was foreigners skiing everywhere. There were many 7-8 ski lifts on the beginner side, and there were gondolas going up.
Gulmarg has survived all this. It continues, no?
Somehow
12
it
months,
continues, man.
Whatever happens.
I mean, they have the world's highest ski lift, 4,000 meters above sea level. And lucky, I knew how to ski, but my mom and my sister didn't. And we were looking for instructors in Gulmarg to teach. and there was actually nobody. Like, there's no ski school there. And randomly, like, strangers said, I'll teach you. I'm like, who are you, man? Are you
The
qualified?
same two guys from Singapore?
No.
It's different two guys. Okay.
You know when you go to Goa, all these hustlers come to you trying to, like, hustle
They
you?
can come to you. They follow you everywhere, it looks like. Yeah.
So that's what kind of happened. And then
So you realize that there's nothing here.
we realized there's nothing there, but then there was a robust ecosystem for it to happen, and there was a 5-star hotel being built that year called Khyber, which is one of the best hotels now in India.
But, and also, the Indian population is growing there, right? But generally, it
bigger.
was only foreigners.
Yeah.
But in the last few years, apparently, a lot of Indians have taken to skiing.
Yeah, I think like every year about 15,000 foreigners come and about like 3,000 Indians come during the snow season.
But
which
we're
is
growing.
This year. Now it's changed. Now there are more Indians.
What are you saying?
Yeah, it's like 50-50 almost.
Damn it, we're everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a good idea, and then, but you decided just
No,
out of
so
the blue?
no. So then after that, there was no plan to do any ski school. We came back from the trip and we were just raving about how amazing Gulmarg was and how much fun we had. It was probably the best experience we had within India, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, we got to go back again and ski. And then my dad was like, you know, like, it's a shame that we couldn't teach my mom and my sister like proper skiing, because they would also enjoy coming down the mountains, you know, half an hour skiing, 1 hour skiing from phase 1. And I said that someone should set up a ski school there and get all these guys verified and vetted and figure out who's the best person to teach how to ski. So eventually said like, okay, if no one's going to do it, we might as well do it because it needs to happen more like a passion project rather than making it a big business plan. I said,
And like
okay,
many business things, it starts on a personal level.
personal level.
You just want to teach your family how to ski.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you realize there's a market.
And also, I realized that this is so awesome. I want to go to Gulmarg all the time, you know. And my dad's like, no, how can you start a business there in Kashmir? You know, they'll kill you and this and that. All these, like, they were afraid of Indians from other cities coming
Into the...
and
with all the
affecting
controversy and all. But why daddy? Why the snow daddy? Where did that come from?
That came from a brainstorming session, like, what should we call it? We want to be cool, we want to be funky. And somehow my dad came up with that name, weirdly
Daddy
enough.
Ski School.
Yeah, Snow Daddy.
And that's what it's called.
And that's what
so
it's
how's
called.
it doing now?
It's doing well. This is our 4th season's ended now. It starts in December, ends in April. We've done over like 2,000 customers. You know, many corporates.
So it's a seasonal job, obviously.
Yes, it
and
is.
so you work for 5 months and then you take a break.
So I don't take
The
a break.
guys,
I have a
they
full-time
pay the
job
salary. No, I'm saying the guys you hire.
The guys I hire end up becoming tour guides later, or they end up doing some family business where they have like growing apples or saffron or something.
But you have the same guys who come back and work.
They come
as
back every year. They
instructors
love skiing. They have been trained by the army by foreigners. Right? The High Altitude Warfare School right over there teaches them at a young age, and then these foreigners come and take them abroad to get certified for avalanche protection.
And those who survive come back and become.
Yeah, so they're only like a group of 20 people really who are really qualified and who've been trained abroad and who are really like who know the mountains.
But
really
how
well.
long does it take to train a person to ski?
I would say if you want to become a skier where you can go to blue slopes, you know, like it starts with double black
Is
diamond.
racism even in skiing?
Yeah, there is.
What the hell, yeah.
But it's the opposite. A black is the best.
Oops. Watch it, my brother.
And white is...
I don't even go there. First we talk about Kashmir, then we talk about problems there, then we talk about racism, and then we're reversing things. Okay, let's move to the other story, which is very interesting. And we're running out of time, so I need to get into it as fast as possible. What happened? Where did the genetics thing come from?
It kind of came from once the snow melted the first year, and I didn't know what to do. I was in a conundrum. Should I continue marketing this for next year right now, or should I focus on something that's more like worthy of a career? You know, and I decided that it's probably better to focus on something that I can continue doing for the next 20 years rather than something that is not going to pay enough and will kind of die every time the snow melts. So my friend approached me and said, Milind, I have a cancer genetics company and we're doing really well, but the genetics field is growing really fast. Why don't you join me and explore other opportunities in the field of genetics? So he kind of called me to his office one day.
But you had no knowledge of genetics?
No knowledge of genetics at all. And I went to his office one day, met the doctors, met the scientists, met the geneticists. And like from once a month to once a week to every day to before I knew it, I was like heading business development, and before I knew it, I was like developing like.
But that's where you need the most money, right? Because you've got to figure out.
Yes,
all
you
the
need a lot of
research and-
people. You need these people that are really smart, that have been very highly qualified, highly
And also
educated,
research.
and they sit in behind computers. They pay for research papers to get access to them because they're restricted globally. And after you get there, you're supposed to, once you read them, you're supposed to verify what's the useful information within the research paper.
But is it a problem now for you to date girls and stuff?
Why?
Because with all this genetic knowledge, are you always thinking from that perspective? She could have been better this way. Her chest could have been, developed that way. Her shoulders.
Well, unfortunately, I was taken long back. I had a girlfriend for the last 12 years.
Let's just pretend. Just humor me. I was just thinking when you see girls.
But it will be difficult to date girls if you know their genetics, because there's a gene known as the divorce gene, the single gene, and the
What are
cheating
you
gene.
saying?
Yeah.
How do I know if I have any of these?
Well, so one of them is vasopressin, is a hormone, and it's called vasopressin receptor, is a gene that codes for that hormone. If people have less of it, they're more likely to seek out, I would say,
infidelity.
Infidelity in a way.
But what about Milind? What's his story?
I haven't checked that gene of mine.
Oh, very convenient. We're doing a podcast about the truth. I know exactly everything about this guy. It's ridiculous. All right. I want to ask you some questions before we go back to the business. What is China doing to make population more intelligent?
So China wants to increase the GDP by about 45% compared to what it currently is. And the only way they see to do that is to leverage CRISPR and Cas9 technology, find out the genetic variants that make people intelligent. Right, and they're saying that 40%.
No dumb kids.
Yeah,
I'm going to pass my time.
40% of intelligence is inherited because
40%.
of which 40% approximately. And they went and sequenced all the Mensa people around the world.
My God.
And they've kind of figured out which genes are causing intelligence for those people. And now in the next generation of Chinese kids, they're using something known as pre-implantation genetic testing diagnosis, where they take the sperm of the male and the eggs of the female, and they fertilize about 8-10 of them, and then they sequence each of those eggs. And once they fertilize eggs, and then they find out which ones have the smartest combination of intelligence, which one have the smartest combination of...
and
then they insert that into the woman's stomach.
Only that would be made into a child.
Exactly. And they can even edit it today, but like the first plan is to do it without editing the genome itself. So you can expect like the average Chinese population to become 5% more intelligent to 15% more intelligent in the next generation, because they can just execute it overnight. There's no ethical debate in China. It's an autocratic society.
That's the beauty of that lovely place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you can imagine that few years down the line, Chinese on average that 5% intelligence will equate to about almost doubling their GDP.
And any people who aren't intelligent enough in China will be sent to North Korea.
Probably. And they'll tweak them. You can tweak that today.
Oops. Okay. This is true. Why did Angelina Jolie remove her breasts? Because of genetic testing. Is this true?
It is true. And it's a sad truth after Tomb Raider. But anyways, she...
Huh? Where did that come from, Milind? You sexist mask. We're having
it's a comedy show.
Yeah, suddenly, after Tomb Raider. We get into trouble. Be careful. Huh? Okay.
So she got her genes tested and they identified she carries a variant in BRCA1 and BRCA2, which are known for breast cancer. They predispose you to getting breast cancer.
Oh, okay, so it's like
86% chance.
Okay, so to kill the chance, you have to sacrifice.
Exactly,
okay, fair enough. Why kids in their teens so they will live to over 150 years? I couldn't understand this.
So Craig Venter, have you heard of this guy?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So he's the one of the bosses in the field of genomics, right? He runs a company called Human Longevity. He's the same guy that created the world's first artificially designed genome, right? And he inserted that into a cell, and that cell accepted his genome, and that now it's like the god of that cell is Craig Venter. And that same guy wants to live to 150 because he believes all the diseases that kill us today are preventable with genetics, right? If you know what genes you have, if you can edit them out, you can actually increase the mortality rate. And if you look at human species, about few thousand years, we were all dying at 20. And then we started all dying at 30. Then we got technology, we moved till 40. And we keep increasing
And now we're dying because of the metro construction in our cities.
Probably.
It's taking too long.
But all these technology, I think technology innovation comes in.
But do you think it's a fair figure, 150?
Easily. And in this generation, and that's what he's doing. He called our company.
So if my family thing is cardiac issues, you sort of take that out of the equation and we live to be whatever.
It's possible. And the first human trials happened about a month back in England, where they edited the genome of someone suffering from leukemia. And it went.
Gone. Can we make our penises longer?
Possibly.
Can we put hair back on our bald heads?
We could. Everything you can think of is possible.
Can I get a third nipple?
Yes, you can.
Will it look good on the beach? Can I put it on my back just to scare people?
You can do anything. So the funny thing is that sequencing technology costs have dropped. Sequencing means reading your DNA. And writing your DNA is called synthesizing. The cost of that is dropping even faster. 15 years down the line, the cost of writing your DNA, called synthesizing, will be so cheap that anybody in any college degree with one small lab can do it. And you just have to put in the sequence that you want, and you can get that trait. So you can get glowing skin. Can
I get it temporarily? Like when I go to China, can I look Chinese? And then I want to come back and look like Norwegian in Norway and then Jamaican in Jamaica.
People are working on that.
I think that would be great. Then I could experience life from different points of view.
People are working on how to keep the genetic trait for a certain period of time.
Could I become a woman and sleep with myself?
You could.
What if I say no? I'm bound to say no. I'm sure I'll say no. All right, before we wind up, what else? Is there anything new? Because you have this entrepreneur bug in you. And I know that this is taking all your time. You've got like twin things happening. But is there more?
Yes. I mean, the ultimate thing that we're working on right now is trying to solve problems that nobody could before. One of them is like, what is the perfect diet for people? What is the perfect, like, how can you live long and not die with diabetes, obesity, heart conditions. Yeah. So the idea is to look at not just genetics, but look at microbiome, genetics, your blood test, your question, and then kind of look at all.
But if nobody dies, how do we fit in the world? Because we need to kill people also, otherwise you don't fit. There's no space. I mean, look at Kandivali East, just to mention one place.
People will die by crossing the road,
so we kill them intentionally.
Yeah, but they will not die because of natural.
So this is what genetic engineering really means. Yeah. No, but that is a question. Now, if we're trying to actually increase the longevity, what happens to the other side of it? Because there's got to be a birth-death effect.
Yes, there will be. And what's really going to end up happening is human beings are going to have to figure out what to do with their time.
And what about evil people? How do we eradicate evil people?
Evil people.
Have you worked on the evil gene? People like, say, ISIS and, people who just murderers and cutthroats.
Yes, you can actually, because people that are currently not empathizing with others, it's coded by a genetic variant. And if you can identify that and...
There's a guy in my building. Just no empathy.
Let me know in the future when we do this, we can edit that gene.
Well, so you just run him over and save us all a lot of time.
No, but he could live and be normal,
Oh, you could just by re-engineering.
Of course.
Excellent, superb. How do I meet chicks? That's still the same problem, right?
Yeah, that problem.
There ain't no science for that.
You gotta get fit, man. And I want to compliment you, man. You, from what I've seen on TV, you are so fit right now. It's awesome.
That's scary. And it's all thanks to genetic coding, let me tell you. Let me name your company here. We haven't even mentioned it, which is Nutritional, Genomix.com.
Yeah.
All right. Nice talking to you, Milind, Doshi. Hope to have you here again. I'm sure you'll have lots of stories in future.
For sure.
And be careful when you're in Singapore at whatever age, because for some reason they're after you. But we're going to do the AMAs and then we'll come back.
Hello there, my name is Naveen Narona, and as a gay person in India, I get asked a lot of stupid questions.
Beta, is it LGBT or eligibility?
How do two men procreate?
Bro, is Grindr better than Tinder or what?
We answer all these questions and much more on my podcast, Keeping It Queer, where I talk to individuals from the LGBT community in India and learn about their personal stories. Catch all the episodes on the IVM podcast app or any other podcasting app you like. Till then, keep it queer.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right. I feel India is not a homogeneous society, and to fit in properly, we should keep changing the voice. Because what happens is you become a snob. You start thinking your way is better than the other person's way. There's no such thing. The languages are spoken differently and people have different ways, and you must accept people. And that is why I'm going to talk like this for only 5 more seconds. Now I'm okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was hard.
That was tough, man.
Who talks like that? What kind of person with an education? All right, I'm sorry. AMA time with Naveen and Amit, who've just joined me wearing the same clothes as last episode, which means what? We're doing it one after another? No! Days later.
Of course not. We record everything.
This is in the month of June sometime in 2018.
Wardrobe continuity.
Yeah.
That's
so
for you.
Sometime in the month of June.
That's because you're a superhero. What are you, Bandra man? Isn't that everybody? Hey man, Bandra.
All right, so the first question we have is from Tejas Kumar. What if the person...
He sounds like a... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. He sounds like a...
Yeah, pick on his name.
No, he sounds like, if you have like the Gupta dynasty or something, then there's always one guy who didn't get anything.
Yeah.
So you got Chandragupta Maurya. But Tejas Kumar is like the 7th cousin who's just, I don't have a kingdom. I just have a small little bungalow here they've given me, the corner.
So Tejas' question is, what if the Persians landed on the Chennai coast instead of Gujarat? How would that have...
It would have been the same thing. But there would be a few differences, obviously, but we had to follow rules. So Tamil would be our mother tongue, for sure.
That's what I'm guessing.
AIADMK would not be our party of choice because they banned alcohol very quickly. So I suppose we'd be with the DMK until they come to power, in which case then if they ban alcohol, then we'll have to go to AIADMK. But c'est la vie, as they say in Tamil. I think...
How do you think food would have changed?
No, there's a lot of Gujarati influence in Parsi food. Because if you look at Iranian food, it's a little different from Iran. So I would think the sweet, this is very generic, but in Gujarat, because there are 10,000 different cuisines in Gujarat, there's a certain sweetness to the food. That is there in Parsi food as well, and a heaviness to the food. Okay, so that won't be there perhaps in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get, I don't know, I don't suppose the idli dosa would have meat.
Idli dosa would
Because
have
they
to
would
be-
tell you, look, you have your meat, but just have your meat separately.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
That would be there.
Right.
But no beef, yaar. No beef.
No beef whatsoever.
And of course, Rajnikant. Can you imagine Rajnikant's first name is Adeshar? I mean, because there's a Parsi influence.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, yes.
There's a lot of Parsi in some of that behavior. Just think of it. Come on. All those fantastic tricks, the charisma, the animal magnetism. That's very Parsi for
That's
me.
very Parsi.
But I don't think we have enough of Parsi subculture in, in general pop culture. Like, we talk about mostly the jokes that happen around Parsis is like, oh, brother, sister.
Bad bawa.
blah, 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 yeah.
No, the biggest joke of Parsis is the numbers now.
In numbers,
if you're a
yeah.
stand-up comedian, you got to do the numbers
Yeah,
joke.
yeah,
You come
yeah.
into an audience, you go like, oh, 5 Parsis? Okay, where are the other 5?
Yeah,
That's the kind of joke you do.
exactly.
No, but the Mad Bawa stuff is also people.
Yeah. Mad Bawa is done to death now, mate.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they talk
but
about
Neville
it.
But from
Shah-
our part of the world, who is the same thing?
Yeah.
Neville Shah is the same
The comic, yeah. His whole angle is that Mad Bawa kind of
He's
thing.
stolen that. That gag was written in 1954.
Yeah,
February
it's been
9th.
around forever. I mean,
Yeah, by
Dinesh-
11th we had stopped it. Why is he going on?
Dinesh Hingu. the Mad
Dinesh
Bawa.
Hingu. He's killed so many communities by playing all of them. Sindhis. Actually, he is Sindhi.
Yes, he
Parsis.
is.
Yeah, and that Parsi with a very bad accent is like Peter Sellers killing the Indian accent.
Yeah,
There's
yes.
Harundi. Firstly, who is Harundi V. Bakshi? I've never heard the name Harundi. North, south, east or west.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
who says Buddy Nam Nam?
No, and that's what Hank Azaria said that, right? That
Yeah,
the Apu
yeah.
character is
Yeah.
based on
On
Peter
that,
Sellers'
yeah.
Sellers,
accent.
yeah. But Hank is fantastic as well.
He's good, yeah.
He can do 2,000 accents.
He can.
Hank,
He-
not wank. Behave yourself.
Hey, next question. What is the weirdest thing that has ever happened to you on an elevator?
Oh, elevators. I told the team when we used to do Candid Camera, the show called Bakra, I love doing elevator jokes, elevator gags, simply because it's a violating proximity machine,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And Indian elevators can get violated very fast because our population is so much. So whatever size the elevator is violated. The moment you step in, body language changes, and just watching that, we don't have too many big gags. It's great fun. So you just get in, and people trying to find their space. But they have to touch you because they don't have a choice, so they don't face you.
Right.
The elbow hits you and all that, but they'll never face you. They'll avoid eye contact, whatever happens. What if you're the obnoxious one? Just that much. You start singing loudly in an elevator with 10 people. Just see the reactions.
Yeah.
People are mortified. We are shy by nature. Maybe in Gurgaon it won't be like that, but definitely in Mumbai.
It would be, yeah.
So we had so much fun doing that. Then we've done all kinds of gags in the elevator. And I personally still think when I'm in an elevator, if you suddenly get on the phone and talk loudly,
Yeah.
everybody is a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be very loud. It just has to be, you're 5 people, no one's talking, their heads are all down, you're cramped completely, and you go, Habol, Habol, Habol. Just say it 4 times, and just everybody's rattled. They're just rattled.
I once did this when I dropped a coin by mistake, and this one lady got down to actually pick the coin, and I was like, "That's mine!" And she got so scared.
See, that's the difference. I would drop the coin if she's wearing a skirt. Never do that. That's sexist. That's wrong. That's stupid.
And this other time, this one
You dropped the coin. You were wearing the skirt.
I was. I wanted her to see what's happening down there.
And did it change her, or did she say, "I'll get up on the 5th floor"? No pun intended.
I'll just say wearing tongs was not a good
Stop.
idea.
No.
All right.
All right. Any more?
Sure. If you didn't have comedy, what would be your substitute career?
Oh, I was a 1-year law student. I still tell people, if you don't have any money,
You're
I'm a
half a-
1-year LLB and I can wing it. Like Vinny, my cousin Vinny, and Johnny
Yeah.
LLB and
Oh,
all these people.
yeah.
So I can wing it.
You're half
so,
lawyer.
yeah. So where Dr. Vijay Mallya, if you're listening,
one of
you
my
need a lawyer.
What's your
I'm the man for you.
alternate if you're not a comedy?
Not comedy, then I would have killed myself. I was like,
Well, you make a decent producer. You can still be in the
yeah, but
entertainment
I
business.
got to this job because I do comedy. Right?
Okay, so let's get away from the entertainment business. What could you
Yeah.
have done outside this?
I have a degree in telecom engineering.
What a ball.
Yeah.
No wonder you've turned gay. This girl is going to date you. Are you mental? I'm a telecom engineer.
Yeah,
Amit,
I
you?
would probably just be doing glory holes everywhere.
Amit, you?
I'm not in comedy. That's not my career.
Oh, that's right.
So-
Not funny. All right. That's it. Thank you so much, both of you, Amit and Naveen.
Yes.
And the guests who, as usual, didn't tell us who they were and just walked out on us.
Thank you. Come again.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you. We need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया एक्सक्यूज मी
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर जकरबर्ग है और द फन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.